Our gospel for today comes from the Gospel of John, the 14th chapter.
Alleluia, alleluia, alleluia.
Do not let your hearts be troubled. Believe in God, believe also in me. In my Father's house there are many dwelling places. If it were not so, would I have told you that I go to prepare a place for you? And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and will take you to myself, so that where I am, there you may be also. And you know the way to the place where I am going. Thomas said to him, Lord, we do not know where you are going. How can we know the way? Jesus said to him, I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. If you know me, you will know my Father also. From now on, you do not know him and have seen him. Philip said to him, Lord, show us the Father, and we will be satisfied. Jesus said to him, Have I been with you all this time, Philip, and you still do not know me? Whoever has seen me has seen the Father. How can you say, Show us the Father? Do you not believe that I am in the Father, and the Father is in me? The words that I say to you, I do not speak on my own, but my Father, who dwells in me, does his work. Believe me that I am in the Father, and the Father is in me. But if you do not, then believe me because of the works themselves. Very truly, I tell you, the one who believes in me will also do the works that I do, and, in fact, will do greater works than these, because I am going to the Father. I will do whatever you ask in my name, so that the Father may be glorified in the Son. If in my name you ask me for anything, I will do it. This is the gospel of the Lord. Grace and peace to you from Jesus Christ, who is our rock and who walks with us. Richard Rohr is a Franciscan monk and writer and spiritual teacher who runs the Center for Action and Contemplation in New Mexico. And as a part of his ministry, he has a daily devotion that goes out to emails that I get in my emails every day. And last week he was talking about, or a few weeks ago, he was talking about the idea of liminal space. I'm going to say that word again. Liminal space. Have you heard of that word before? Liminal? It comes from the Latin word limen, which means threshold. And this is how Richard Rohr talks about liminal space as he wrote in his devotion on April 26th of this year. Liminal space is an inner state and sometimes an outer situation where we can begin to think and act in new ways. It is where we are betwixt and between, having left one room or stage of life, but not yet entered the next. We usually enter liminal space when our former way of being is challenged or changed. Perhaps when we lose a job or a loved one, during illness, at the birth of a child, or a major relocation. It is a graced time, but it often does not feel graced in any way. In such space, we are not certain or in control. This global pandemic we now face is an example of an immense, collective, liminal space. Do you understand what he means there? He's naming that this time during the coronavirus is a time and is a space in which we are in between. The world that we knew prior to mid-March or maybe earlier for you is not around anymore. And the world that we will know, whenever that will be, is not yet here. But we are still here, and we are in now. And this time is a liminal time. It is in between. It is a graced time, even though it may not feel like it. There are some ways for some of us that this time doesn't feel much different. This time is a time in which suffering is still present for some of us, or even more present in a way that we have feared for others of us. For some of us, this time is. It just is. Yet, what we know is that transformation happens in liminal spaces. The thing about liminal spaces is we cannot rush our way through them. We cannot race our way to the other side, to the knowing that will be, and to that other time. We just have to be, and we have to trust, and we have to keep going, knowing that there will be another side. I've been thinking about liminal spaces this week when I read our gospel passage for today, because it seems to me that the disciples are also in a liminal space. They're sitting around the table during the Last Supper with Jesus, and he's beginning to tell them all sorts of things that they don't want to hear. He's beginning to prepare them for him to leave. The world and the life that they knew prior to this meal is ending or has ended. And the world that they will know has not arrived. So they know that there will be transformation, that there will be big change, but they don't quite know what it will be. Our gospel passage for today is a part of what we have started to call Jesus' farewell discourse. It spans 4 chapters in the Gospel of John, from chapter 13 to about chapter 17, where Jesus is saying goodbye to the disciples and giving them instructions, trying to prepare them for what is happening or what is going to happen, and for the life that they will live once he is gone. Jesus doesn't promise during this farewell discourse that there will not be suffering, that there will not be challenge, that there will not be pain. Instead, Jesus names for them that things are changing. Jesus promises them that they will come out the other side. And most importantly, Jesus promises that he will be with them. And not only that he will be with them, but that he will be with them in a more intimate way than they have been with him already. Which I imagine for the disciples is hard to picture. But Jesus promises, I abide in you, and just as the Father abides in me, I abide in you. Jesus is not only with them, but Jesus is within them. And it is because of that promise and because of that knowledge that Jesus not only portrays to them that promise, but his confidence in them and his confidence in their ability to move forward and to keep living and to keep sharing his good news with all of the world throughout the rest of their lives, through all of what is going to happen before they get to the other side of the liminal space that they are in. Our current reality is a liminal space. Jesus is with us. But not only that, Jesus is within us. And we have all that we need to get to the other side. Sadly, Jesus has not promised there will not be suffering. But Jesus has promised that he is with and within us. Thanks be to God. This afternoon, we have the joy of baptizing Solomon, and we really hope that you all will tune in, because baptism and being present for the baptism of others and promising to walk with them as they journey through faith but also hearing the promise of God proclaimed to them is an opportunity for all of us to remember that Jesus is with and within us, that Jesus has confidence in us to keep going, to keep moving, to be present to what is, and that we will get to the other side, to endure what we endure so that we are transformed people of God. So we really hope that you will join us as we remember God's intimate promise, because God never forgets God's promises. She is with you now. She will be with you through whatever the future holds. And when we get to the other side of this and we are a transformed community, a transformed world, she will still be with us there. God is with and within you. May you live boldly with that confidence this week. Thanks be to God. Amen.